If you're dreaming of packing your bags, boarding a flight, and starting fresh in Australia, the 189 Skilled Independent Visa might already be on your radar. This visa is the golden ticket for skilled workers who want to live and work anywhere in Australia permanently. No employer sponsor, no family sponsor, and no state nomination. Just you, your skills, and a lot of paperwork. But here's the catch. Your occupation has to be on Australia's list of skills in high demand. And for 2025, there are some clear winners, some new entrants, and a few surprises that might just work in your favor. In this video, we're going to break down the skills and jobs most likely to get you that 189 invitation this year. We'll also talk about why these jobs are in demand, what that means for your chances, and how to make your application stand out in a pool of other hopeful migrants. Let's get started. What's special about the 189 visa? Before we get into the skills list, let's be clear on why this visa is such a big deal. The 189 is points tested, which means you're scored based on your age, English ability, qualifications, work experience, and other factors. The more points you have, the better your chance of receiving an invitation. The good news? If your skill is in very high demand, you might get an invitation at a lower points threshold compared to others. That's why knowing the most in-demand jobs for is so important. You can focus on an occupation that has a better shot at securing you a spot in Australia's workforce. How the skills list works in 2025. Australia doesn't just make a random list every year. The government looks at industry shortages, migration data, and feedback from employers. They then update the skilled occupation list for visas like the 189, 190, and 491. For 2025, the focus is clear: fixing chronic shortages in healthcare and education, filling key roles in engineering and construction, keeping the tech sector competitive, and supporting regional development and infrastructure projects. And just a heads up, if you're in a profession that's not on the list, you might still have a pathway through other visas like the 190 or employer sponsorship. But in this video, we're zooming in on the 189 visa only. Current skills in highest demand for the 189 visa. 1. Healthcare workers. If you're in healthcare, Australia is practically waving you in, as hospitals and clinics are crying out for staff. This year, the most in-demand roles include registered nurses in all specializations, midwives, general practitioners, medical practitioners in rural areas, physiotherapists, and occupational therapists. The demand here isn't just about the pandemic recovery. Australia's population is aging, rural health services are struggling, and many medical professionals are retiring. That leaves huge gaps that skilled migrants can fill. For healthcare professionals, make sure your qualifications are recognized by the Australian board for your field before applying, because this step trips up a lot of applicants. 2. Teachers and educators. Yes, teachers are now firmly on the priority radar. If you're a qualified teacher, especially in maths, science, and special education, Australia wants you. In-demand teaching roles this year include secondary school teachers, especially in STEM subjects, special needs teachers, and early childhood teachers. There's a shortage in both city schools and rural areas, and unlike some careers, teaching jobs in Australia are very stable, with strong pay and good benefits. 3. Engineers. From massive rail projects to renewable energy farms, Australia is building at a fast pace. Engineers are needed everywhere, and the 189 visa list reflects that. Key engineering jobs in demand for 2025 include civil engineers, mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, structural engineers, and mining engineers. If your work experience includes infrastructure projects, you'll be in a great position. With Australia's push for green energy, renewable energy engineers are also gaining traction on the list. 4. IT and tech specialists. The Australian tech sector might not be Silicon Valley, but it's growing rapidly. With the rise of AI, cybersecurity threats, and digital transformation, tech talent is in short supply. Top tech roles on the 189 list include software engineers and developers, cybersecurity, and cloud engineers. This demand is especially high in urban areas like Sydney and Melbourne, but remote work has made it possible for tech migrants to live anywhere in the country. 5. Trades and construction workers. While engineers design, it's the tradespeople who make it happen. The housing shortage, infrastructure expansion, and disaster recovery projects are driving this demand. In-demand trades are electricians, plumbers, welders, carpenters, and bricklayers. One advantage for trades is that the skills assessment process is straightforward compared to some professions, but you'll still need to meet Australian licensing standards before working. 6. Agricultural and regional skills. Australia's agriculture sector is huge, but farms and regional businesses are short on skilled workers. Roles in demand include agricultural technicians, veterinarians, farm managers, and agricultural scientists. If you're willing to work outside big cities, your chances of getting an invitation can go up significantly. Why are these skills in demand? The big picture is simple. Australia needs people to keep the economy moving, but the reasons behind each sector's shortage vary. Healthcare demand is driven by population growth and rural gaps. Teaching shortages are partly due to burnout and the need for STEM educators. Engineering and construction are driven by multi-billion-dollar infrastructure and renewable energy projects. Tech needs are tied to global competition for talent and cybersecurity threats. Trade shortages are a mix of an aging workforce and high construction demand. Agriculture shortages are worsened by regional location and the shift away from seasonal visa workers. Even if your job is on the list, you still need to meet the points threshold. But here's the trick. When a skill is in critical demand, the invitation points can sometimes be lower because fewer people are competing in that category. For example, in past invitation rounds, certain nursing specializations received invites at 65 points, while popular occupations like accountants needed much higher scores. There are some common mistakes that can also cost you the 189 visa. Sending your documents to the wrong skills assessment authority is an easy way to get rejected, as each occupation has its own specific assessing body. Many applicants also run into trouble by overestimating their points, so it's important to double-check your self-assessment before submitting an expression of interest. Another common mistake is overlooking recent updates to the skills list, which can lead to applying for a role that's no longer eligible. And if you already meet the points requirement, don't delay lodging your EOI, as demand can change quickly. Remember, Australia isn't just looking for workers, it's looking for people who will contribute to the economy. If you bring the right skills, Australia will welcome you with open arms, sunshine, and possibly a kangaroo crossing your front yard. So, whether you're a nurse, teacher, engineer, coder, tradie, or agricultural expert, 2025 could be the year you make the move. Just keep your paperwork tight, your points high, and your coffee strong, because the process can be a marathon. Because at the end of the day, Australia's not just looking for skills, it's looking for people ready to call it home.